Fix my screen here. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Let's rock.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, but first I'm going to go ahead and read the medical disclaimer. The information provided is for educational purposes and is not intended as medical advice or a substitute for medical advice of a physician or other qualified healthcare professional. We do not aim to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any illness or disease, and you should always consult with a doctor or other healthcare professional for medical advice or information about diagnosis and treatment, and this information has not been evaluated by the FDA or any other medical body. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Dr. Doreen Arba, and I'm your host on today's call. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a clinical researcher and an author of several books. Welcome to our Tuesday call with Clayton Thomas, who is the founder of Root. Hello, Clayton, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Dory. Is it 2023 yet?
Oh, please don't make me any older. 22. Okay, a new year. So actually a new year, a new you. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
That's right. In creating a new routine. I don't know where we're going yet. So.
Oh, yes. It's going to be good. You're going to love this call. So, well, for those of you who don't know Clayton, he is the founder of Root. He has over 25 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. And for the past 16 years, Clayton has been focused on detoxification and supplementation formulations with the simple philosophy, cure the cause. So as I said, today we're going to talk about a new year and a new you. That's what it's all about. So we thought we would talk about reinventing, rebuilding and rejuvenation. We want to reinvent ourselves and go back to our natural state, or I like to call it our baby state. And we want to talk about a little bit about, touch on detoxification, rebuilding with supplementation, your diet through exercise, and rejuvenating the microbiome. And we're going to talk about the keys to a healthy immune system.
You guys are killing the slides now.
Oh, thank you. First, we're going to start off with 10 steps of improving gut health. So the first one I want to talk about is, of course, the probiotics and fermented food. This is step one. So research suggests that taking probiotics can support a healthy gut microbiome and that it may prevent gut inflammation and other intestinal problems. So fermented foods are a natural source of probiotics, and consuming the following foods regularly can also improve your gut health. For example, fermented vegetables, kefir, kimchi. I love kimchi. I make that myself too. Kombucha, miso, and then of course sauerkraut and tempeh, and of course the yogurts and things like that. Very good for you.
And one of the best probiotics that you can get is called Relive Greens.
Okay, don't jump ahead of me now.
Oh.
Okay, so this is a study that supports the first point. This study shows that the gut microbial alteration modulated through probiotics can improve cognitive performance during acute stress, which I thought was an interesting study to read. And then we'll move on to prebiotic fibers. Research suggests that prebiotics may help probiotics become more tolerant to certain environmental conditions, such as your pH, such as environmental changes in cold and in heat. And also people who want to enhance their gut health may wish to include the following prebiotic foods to their diet, such as asparagus, bananas, chicory, garlic, Jerusalem artichoke, onion, whole grains, which some of those products actually happen to be in the Relive Greens. And here is the study that supports that. This study demonstrates that probiotics and prebiotics can promote and balance the balance of intestinal microbiota by regulating specific microbes in the intestines. The third point is eating a lot of sugar or artificial sweeteners imbalances the gut microbes. So there was a study, an animal study actually in 2015 that found that high sucrose diet significantly impaired early development of spatial bias for long-term and short-term memory compared to mice on a normal diet. In addition, researchers noted that it negatively affects the gut microbiome, which in turn influences brain and behavior. And in another animal study reported that artificial sweetener, for example, aspartame, increases the number of some bacterial strains that are linked with metabolic disease, such as diabetes and heart disease. And recent research, I think this is actually not that recent, but there are some recent studies that indicate that artificial sweeteners in humans actually increases your blood sugar despite not actually being a sugar. That's why in our house, we don't do any diet drinks. I've never done diet.
Well, I think the other important part is in this current environment, for the last 2 years, one of the biggest things that is showing risk factors for people to have complications from environmental exposure to things is insulin resistance and the complications that come from having insulin resistance, and that could be a diagnosis as diabetes, but even being insulin resistant and not being clinically diagnosed as diabetic,
pre-diabetes.
You can be pre-diabetic, you can be insulin resistant, and those are the weaknesses that are being exploited. So whether it's through sugar consumption and other components, and one of the unique things is, we'll probably hit on this a little bit, as your system becomes more healthy, you won't crave sugar, because sugar is not a natural choice for us to consume. It's only through disruptions in your gut, disruptions in your endocrine system, disruptions in your neurological system with excitotoxins and such that you actually crave sugar. And as you start to balance this, and Ted and I were having this conversation because his 7-year-old daughter is now craving pickles and pickle juice and wanting pickles and eggs in the morning. And she's like, why is she doing this? I'm like, well, because her body's resetting and she craves salt and she's craving trace minerals. And you begin to see that shift from eating sweets to salts.
Okay, so, and moving on. So here, this study is just about excessive consumption of sugar and other unhealthy dietary factors during early life development periods yields changes in the gut microbiome, as well as neurocognitive impairments. I mean, this is, there's a lot of studies that actually show that when, especially for children, introducing sugar too early, really it actually sets them up for diabetes and obesity later.
Well, and disaster. And I think the interesting part is if you look at that article, Dory, that you were just showing, if you look at the journal that it comes from, that's from Translational Psychiatry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So the important part is really understanding how important your gut is, that gut-brain connection. The disruptions in your gut, directly, it will impact your brain. But disruptions in your brain and the rest of your body are also going to disrupt your gut. So I will argue that we're really at the forefront of this, because I've never seen anyone be able to address gut the way that we're doing it, but also the brain, the vagus nerve, neurotransmission, which you saw towards the end of that abstract, that you just posted. So it's multifaceted. And then we get to stress.
Yes, stress. So managing stress is very important for gut health. In fact, animal studies suggest that psychological stressors can disrupt the microorganisms in the intestines, and even if the stress is only short-lived. Now, in humans, a variety of stressors can negatively affect gut health, including psychological stress, environmental stress, again, like we touched on earlier about extreme heat, extreme cold, and even noise, sleep deprivation, disruption as well, from the circadian rhythm. So this is affecting your gut. I thought that was really interesting. So
and it's cortisol. Cortisol has been shown to damage the gut and disrupt neurotransmission, and we know most of that's done in the gut. So it all corresponds. But I think the important part, like you hit on, is it's not just one aspect of stress. There's multiple kinds of stress, and being able to address all of them, but also being able to overcome or overpower the stress response, right? With cortisol, and you need dopamine and serotonin to overcome it. The crazy part is the cortisol actually shuts off, the ability to produce the dopamine and serotonin. So you get that vicious cycle, the same as much like mercury shuts off glutathione production and detoxification. And so, proceed.
And this study talks about diet, stress, and the gut bacteria and their impact on immune function and health. So this one here was very interesting.
Yeah,
that just supports the last slide. And then the next one is avoiding antibiotics unnecessarily. So as we know, antibiotics are also damaging to the gut microbiota and immunity. And some research reporting that it can take up to 6 months after their use, and the gut still lacks several species of beneficial bacteria.
It's important to understand that when you're people will take antibiotics because they think they have, bacteria or they have an infection, but they don't understand that the antibiotics aren't specific to that issue. It kills everything, right? So you really are sending in a gut bomb. So like Dory is mentioning, it can take 6 months, but you can compress that process if you're doing things to clean up and improve. But also, if you're doing the right things, I forgot the number. I think it's 90. What do they say? 90% of your immune system is in your gut, and so if you wipe that out, you're not putting yourself in a good position to be protected. And sugar consumption is one of the biggest things, especially in this environment, that if you do things that even suppresses your immune system for a little bit, you can contract things that your immune system is going to tell you, hey, I could have taken care of this a little better had you not knocked me down a little bit. And sugar does that pretty significantly. And so sinus infections, all the colds and flus and stuff that are out right now, they'll hit you. Because we're all exposed to this stuff, but it can have a greater impact on you if you suppress your immune system based on your behavior.
Yes. So this study here talks about early childhood exposure to antibiotics, which can also lead to several gastrointestinal, immunological, and neurocognitive conditions. The interesting thing about antibiotics, so here it's really difficult to get antibiotics, but every once in a while you can get it. But that can give rise to other issues because as we talked about, how it basically just wipes out everything that's good, and it gives way to some other opportunistic types of bacteria to rise up. So there's a really fine balance to keep everything in homeostasis there. Oh, this one, you're going to really like this one, Clayton, because this is all about, exercise, right? And working out, it also increases species diversity. So in a 2014 study that found that athletes had a larger variety of gut flora than non-athletes. However, the athletes also ate a different type of diets, in the control group, which could account for the differences in their microbiomes. And in a recent study in 2021, researchers found that the gut microbiota and exercise has been shown to be interconnected. Both moderate and intense exercise are typically part of the training regime of endurance athletes, but they exert different effects on health. So moderate exercise has positive effects on the health of average athletes, such as a reduction in inflammation and intestinal permeability, and an improvement in body composition as well. It also induces positive changes in the gut microbiota composition and in the microbial metabolites produced in the gastrointestinal tract. So there is this interplay between the two. Between the exercise and the gut microbiome. The microbiome is different in people that exercise.
Isn't that weird that if you do healthy activities, you have a healthier system? It's like bizarre, really, when you think about it. And, it's kind of terrible. My mom sent me some of my Christmas presents. I just got them yesterday. And it was a bunch of the newspaper clippings and a bunch of the stuff from my college days when I was competing. And it made me look back at what I used to look like. And I'm like, because Christina and I we've made a pact that we have to exercise more this year, because we really didn't do any last year because of being so busy. So it's a push. And it's really the most important thing you can do. You get that endorphin rush, and your body just functions better. I really hadn't worked out all of last year until I went skiing, and the feeling of being sore is so amazing.
That's
And
the
to have
last
your
week
muscles,
of the year.
yeah, I know, it was terrible. And to have your muscles just tell you, it's like, oh yeah, I put in some work and I want more of this. I think it's really, really important. But it's also the simplicity of exercise. Just go for a 20-minute walk every day. If one of your New Year's resolutions is to get fit and get healthier, here's the thing. Don't go buy a gym membership. Go for a 20-minute walk every day.
Mhm.
Do that for a month and watch what happens to your body, and your metabolism will improve. And there's a couple key things you can start adding to your lifestyle we'll probably hit on as well. But just the movement is so crucial. And get a rebounder. And then there's my favorite thing.
Sleep. So in a 2014 animal study, here they talk about irregular sleep habits, and disturbed sleep can have negative outcomes on gut flora, which may increase the risk of inflammatory conditions. And in a 2019 human study, also found that growing evidence suggesting that the gut microbiome diversity can influence your sleep quality. It can also increase your sleep efficiency and your total sleep time. That's how important it is.
Well, and I think you're probably going to pull some stuff up on this. And this is why the Trinity is so important and so valuable. And, creating sleep quality, and, what comes from it, and how important the sleep space is. The 8 hours, a third of your life is going to be spent, or should be spent, asleep, for a reason. And most people don't get restful sleep. It's one of the things that's I think crucial this year for people, is to figure that process out, that you don't need to buy melatonin and everything else. You can do some really simple things and let your body do it the way it's supposed to.
And in addition, researchers also found linkages between the gut microbiome composition, diversity, sleep, physiology, and the immune system and cognition. So all of those interplay together. And I mean, it just goes to show you the gut-brain connection. And of course, here is the study that talks about growing evidence that the gut microbiome can influence sleep quality. Oh, this was really interesting.
Oh.
Yes, cleaning products. So just as antibiotics can disrupt the gut microbiota, so too can disinfectant cleaning products. And according to the results of one study, this was a study done in 2018. Researchers analyzed the gut flora of over 700 infants ages 3 to 4 months. And the researchers found that those who lived in homes where people used disinfectant cleaning products for at least weekly were twice as likely to have higher levels of gut microbes associated with type 2 diabetes and obesity. So I thought that was really interesting. I was telling Claire, like, hey, my mom always used to use vinegar and water cleaning. I hated that smell in the house, but there must be something, right?
It's one of the big things now, when you look at cleaning, but you also look at sanitization. So many people are wanting to sanitize everything and use alcohol, which is terrible. But one of the little components, going back to kind of the antibiotics, is the use of silver. And like you see a bunch of stuff being advertised now for colloidal silver, because colloidal silver will kill viruses. It's very, very effective at stuff. But if you overuse it, if you're ingesting silver, you can damage your microbiome as well. When you think you're doing something natural and beneficial, you're actually using one of nature's antibiotics that's also going to put your body at risk to disrupt your system. And if you're using it as a cleaning agent, and I'm waiting for one of my goodies to come, but I don't. Can you grab? Hey, Preston, can you go grab that bottle of Pure for me real quick? That there are natural cleaning agents, which we're probably going to be able to launch here this year. It's taken me 3 years to get the infrastructure in place for it, but being able to use natural cleaning agents like vinegar and water and such, and the high or low pH water. One of the things my parents did, we got a water filter in the veterinary clinic that could make 2.5 pH water. So they would sanitize the clinic, they would sanitize the surgery room and everything just with acidic water. And it was amazing because just using 2.5 acid water actually smelled like bleach, but it was just water. So there's a lot that can be done.
Much healthier.
Okay, and this was the study that supports that. Point number 9 is avoid smoking. Of course, we all know, we don't have to really go into, we all know that you shouldn't be smoking. And we all know that it affects your heart and your lungs, but it also affects your gut health. So in a 2018 review, over a 16-year period, found that smoking alters the intestinal flora by increasing potentially harmful microorganisms and decreasing the level of beneficial ones as well. And there's the study that supports that as well.
I can't believe people still smoke. It's decreasing pretty significantly, but you go around in public and you see someone smoking, do you just look at them like, seriously, you're still doing that? Like, all right.
They've gone on to vaping now, unfortunately.
Oh, that
has its own issues.
Yeah, exactly. Some major issues. Yeah. Okay, obviously eat more vegetables, right? More vegetables actually improve gut health due to the high levels of prebiotic fiber it contains.
Oh, where can you get more vegetables?
Oh, we're coming to that. Hold on. And here's the study that supports that. So that brings us to Relive Greens. To further support gut health, we have Relive Greens. And we just want to take a peek and see why this is so special. After Claire and I did this, like I really want it. I mean, she already has it. I still don't have it. Oh dear. Anyway, so.
I know it's been one thing, even in the short time that we've had it, it's something that's become, part of our routine. Christina's like, no, I need my greens. And you're probably going to dive into this a little bit, but so everybody knows, this is not like any greens product you've ever taken before. It's different. And, we'll hit on some of the key components. Some of the key components of this stuff, but the outcomes that we've seen just briefly are absolutely insane. And so let's have some fun with it, because you've got everything lined up pretty straightforward with everything that we just hit on for the top 10. Chelsea, come here.
And it's true, you don't need that much either, Clayton. I mean, it's just the effect on the stomach is it just feels very comfortable. A lot of the components I couldn't normally have, but it's just a very smooth, easily digestible, and stomach feels fabulous afterwards.
Because
and you don't want to
sensitive to certain ingredients.
I'm very sensitive to brassica and stuff, so
yeah.
So thumbs up for me on that one. Fantastic.
So first up, we have inulin. Inulin is a dietary fiber and a prebiotic that acts as the fertilizer for probiotics. It promotes good digestive health, influencing lipid metabolism, and has some beneficial roles in ensuring optimum levels of glucose and insulin, helping control diabetes, and also aids in weight loss. The next ingredient is green banana flour. This one I thought was really interesting. Green banana flour also has a prebiotic effect in that it promotes the growth of beneficial bacteria, which helps to protect the cells, reduces the prevalence of growth of potentially harmful bacteria in the large intestine, and maintains integrity of the intestinal mucosal barrier, triggering beneficial changes in gene expression as well. It is what is known as a resistant starch, which resists the process of breaking down into sugars, promotes a healthy colon, could reduce insulin sensitivity, possibly aid in weight loss, also can reduce cholesterol levels, may make you feel more satiated, and lowers the pH levels as well, and then can also reduce cell damage. And then next we have apple fiber. I thought this was an interesting quote. The lack of fiber intake in the industrialized world is starving our gut microbes with important health consequences that may be associated with increases in colorectal cancer, autoimmune disease, and even decreased vaccine efficacy and response to cancer immunotherapy. So the type of fiber in apples feeds the good bacteria and may be the reason that they protect against obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. And apples also have this prebiotic component to them because of their fiber content. So technically they are a pre and a probiotic. So then we have Bacillus coagulans is a type of a good bacteria. This is known as a probiotic. It produces lactic acid, but isn't the same thing as lactobacillus, which is another type of probiotic. And for this reason, this strain of bacteria is particularly robust. It is able to withstand extreme environments such as high levels of acid in the stomach. This is taken by some people that have like IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea, gas, airway infections, and many other types of conditions. And then we have spirulina. It's a type of blue-green algae. It is a superfood, is considered the superfood of the sea. And research suggests that spirulina has antioxidants and inflammation-fighting properties, as well as the ability to help regulate the immune system. It is very high in protein and vitamins. It's beneficial for weight loss. It improves gut health. In a 2017 study on older mice suggests that spirulina may preserve the healthy gut bacteria during the aging process. Also, it helps with managing diabetes, lowering cholesterol, reducing blood pressure, preventing heart disease, boosting metabolism, reducing allergy symptoms. And also, I thought this was interesting too, it has an anti-toxic action. So there was a study in 2016 that found that spirulina had anti-toxic properties that could actually counteract the pollutants in the body, such as arsenic, fluoride, iron, lead, and mercury.
And there's a lot of spirulina in the greens too, which is why you get the cool color. Because it's one of Christina's favorite components and one of her I'll say her secrets to treating her cancer issues when she had her brain tumor and when she had her spinal tumor. And she did lots of spirulina shakes. So when she was making the greens, it was one thing that she knew she was going to focus heavily on because of the benefits of it, and then combining it with some of these other components. I think that's a really important part for people to understand with this, because there's so many people want to make claims about products and such. And as we go over in the disclaimer, we're not treating or curing anything, but people have to understand that, one, a healthy system doesn't have health issues. And these products, when you look at Restore and Relive, they were specifically formulated by Christina based on how she took care of herself, how she created her own treatment protocols to deal with her personal health issues. And when most people talk about having a spine tumor that can leave you paralyzed and a brain tumor on your pituitary gland, they think that those are not positive. And if you have seen my wife lately, she's a little bit different than most, and she's not sick. So don't do as those who say that haven't done it prior, right? Follow those who have the experience, and she's lived it.
Absolutely.
Wheatgrass is great, and there's no gluten in wheatgrass.
Why don't you explain that? Because a lot of people don't understand that.
Can we hit on it real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have some stuff on it? So when wheat is in early development, which is what wheatgrass is, right? It's the early growth of wheat. So you get all the greens and everything. The gluten in wheat doesn't form until you have it stalk out and it starts to make its seeds. Wheatgrass does not have gluten. And the other part for people that are gluten sensitive, you're not gluten sensitive. You're actually glyphosate toxic. And so the problems come in a glyphosate toxicity issue that's sprayed on all the wheat products, unless on all the primary farm stuff. So unless you're getting something from an organic farm and such, or doing it yourself, you're probably getting a bunch of glyphosate, and that's where the wheatgrass component is so valuable, because it's organic, it's not sprayed, and there's no gluten. So if you do have gluten and concern issues, this is something that has no gluten in it.
Okay, great explanation. So wheatgrass is regarded as a super potent health food with amazing benefits. It is actually considered to be a living food. Health enthusiasts have long raved about the countless benefits of this plant, and for good reason. It can be used as an everyday health tonic, may be used to help treat specific diseases, but more research, of course, is needed to truly determine its efficacy. Superfood packed with vitamins and minerals, eliminates toxins, helps to support a healthy liver, also helps with digestion. Wheatgrass has high levels of enzymes that aid in digestion by helping your body to break down food and absorb nutrients. The detox effects of wheatgrass clean your intestines, and this helps you experience less gas, bloating, abdominal discomfort. It also helps to relieve constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, and other digestive issues. It can boost your metabolism. It can lower your cholesterol. It can improve your immune system, give you more energy. You can improve cognitive function, and also help with diabetes. And it can also help with arthritis as well. So it is an amazing product, amazing food. Moving on to barley grass. Barley grass is rich in a variety of important nutrients. It contains a good amount of vitamin A, a fat-soluble vitamin that regulates your immune system, cell growth, and vision. It's also high in vitamin C, which plays a central role in everything from your skin health to wound healing to oral health. It also has vitamin K as well, as an essential micronutrient that's needed for blood clotting and bone formation and heart health and much more. And then we have alfalfa leaf. This is a source of iron, niacin, biotin, folic acid, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and also a source of chlorophyll. Compared to other plants, alfalfa leaf is very high in protein and amino acids. And alfalfa has been shown to lower cholesterol and may also have benefits for blood sugar management and relieving symptoms of menopause, which I thought was interesting. And it's also a fiber-rich food, may help control blood sugar levels by slowing the absorption of glucose into the intestines. And as a result, it will help control, may help control diabetes and pre-diabetes as well.
One of the things you hit on real quick,
yeah,
if I jump in, is the vitamin and mineral content of each ingredient. Mm-hmm. And this is really, really important because of, I'll say the vitamin D conversation, right? Because people are having questions about the importance of vitamin D. And as we've touched on before, vitamin D is insanely important for immune function, for health, and many benefits. But we know that vitamin K is needed to go along with vitamin D to improve metabolism. But what most people don't know is that supplemental vitamin K, so if you're taking it in a supplement form, is not ideal because your body can't metabolize it properly. So you need to get vitamin K from natural sources. So when looking at the greens are loaded with ingredients that have massive amounts of vitamin K in them. And you can look at quercetin because you'll see a collaboration, with natural barrier support and Relive to go along with the Trinity, that they're designed to all work synergistically. The greens are going to help natural barrier support work better, and how the Trinity will work with Relive, and then adding some natural barrier support from time to time as you need it. So they're all very complementary, right? Because there is, as we've gone over, there's no one silver bullet that you can take. But as you build on things, while you might look at a label and say, oh, well, there's no vitamins in here. It's like, well, if it's all natural, plants and such, those vitamins that you need are actually already in there. They're just not going to be on the label per se, because it's part of, the flaxseed or the wheatgrass or the apple pectin, or what you'll find in there, the spirulina, and then some. It's as bioavailable as you're going to get. And I think that's one of the big things. If you look at everything that we're doing, we're trying to put in as much of natural sources of stuff as possible. I mean, you can look at clinoptilolite. We are not going to use a synthetic aluminosilicate. You use natural as much as possible. Where we're using sea salt and trace minerals from sea salt, well, because they're natural and they're the best source for assimilation by the body. The same thing with the greens, is you're using, what she did is put together all of the best natural sources of these ingredients to combine. So we're not having to use synthetics, or we're not having to isolate specific vitamins or minerals to add in. They're already there. The key is balance, right? Of everything. There's been such a focus on isolation, also isolating specific supplements, because companies can create a market for it. And that's not needed. And being able to source in the right natural methods, your body's going to be able to use what's available, and it's able to eliminate what it doesn't need. But you find a much greater balance through the natural combination of foods, right? Because if you look at, especially the greens, we don't get enough greens in our diet, and we especially don't get enough good ones. And that's what.
Okay, so flaxseed, this is a good source of many nutrients, like we've already discussed. Their health benefits are mainly due to their content of omega-3 fats, lignans, and also have powerful antioxidant and estrogen properties, and fiber. So they also help preventing breast and prostate cancer, as well as other types of cancers. They're rich in dietary fiber, may also improve cholesterol. It may also help to lower blood pressure, and they also contain this high quality protein, and they can help to control blood sugar as well, and basically keep your hunger at bay, which can also lead to weight control. I was telling Claire, we used to boil this up for the animals, for our show horses, and feed this to them in their grain. They have the slickest coats. It's so shiny. So I actually grind this up. I have, in my little blender, I grind them up, because you can't eat them whole. You have to grind them, and then sprinkle on your cereal, or have it whatever, in different things. But it makes your hair, it makes everything nice and shiny.
Glossy.
High in protein too, which is also really beneficial. We need more.
And then we have Psyllium Husk. People use Psyllium Husk as a dietary supplement. It's available in the form of husks, granules, capsules, and powders. The main active ingredient in Metamucil, fiber supplement that reduces constipation. And it has psyllium. Similarly to other soluble fibers, it passes through the small intestines without being completely broken down or absorbed. Its resistance to digestion allows it to help regulate high cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood sugar levels. It can also aid in weight management, relieve mild diarrhea, as well as constipation. And prebiotics are non-digestible compounds that nourish intestinal bacteria and help them grow. And researchers believe that psyllium has a prebiotic effect. And next we have chlorella. This is a single-celled green freshwater algae with an impressive nutritional profile, which has led some to call it a superfood. And it has many nutrients, including vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and also it has omega-3 fats as well. And this is interesting because it can actually bind heavy metals, which also can aid in the detox. And it also can bolster immune function. The nutrients found in chlorella may also help lower your cholesterol, has an antioxidant content that can provide protection against chronic diseases and anti-inflammatory effects, and also can improve, in some studies, can improve asthma as well as respiratory diseases. And in some research has actually pointed out to blood pressure lowering effects, and many of its nutrients have been shown to prevent hardening of the arteries as well. And also low blood sugar increases the insulin sensitivity. That's really important, especially as we get older, to increase the insulin sensitivity. And also it can improve your aerobic performance. And it is also claimed to improve energy levels, liver health, digestion, and also symptoms of PMS. So all of these points and all these things you can look up. There's all kinds of studies done on this. So broccoli is very interesting. Broccoli is high in many nutrients, including fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, iron, and potassium. It also boasts more protein than any other vegetable. It's very high in protein. It's low in digestible carbs, but provides a decent amount of fiber, helps to promote gut health, and may reduce the risk of various diseases. Like I said, it's higher in protein than most vegetables. It's also high in vitamins and minerals, including folate, potassium, manganese, iron, and vitamin C and vitamin K. And there's so many vitamins in this formulation and nutrients. I mean, it's amazing. Like Christina was saying, like this actually could be used as a meal replacement.
Yeah.
It has been, and it has been used as a meal replacement already, and to great benefit, actually. I know for Christina and I mean, it's our breakfast. You know, I like oat milk, even though oat milk is even though they say it's organic, it's sprayed with glyphosate. I like the creaminess of oat milk along with our frozen banana and a teaspoon of the greens. And it's amazing. You don't need anything. And I think the one thing that we've gone over is like 1 teaspoon a day is really, really sufficient for what people need. But I know, talking with Teresa, as she was one of our guinea pigs, she was using like 1/3 of a teaspoon throughout the day as that meal replacement. Lunchtime, she'd just take scoop in water and pop it and good to go. So it's you have to look at the nutrient density, not the volume and the mass, because of how they put this together. That you've got a very strategic amount of ingredients in a very, very small amount that makes it great for all kinds. And there was a question before, the Tilly dog and our dogs and cat. Our cat doesn't get as many greens, but the Tilly dog, she gets her greens along with our Frenchies. It's phenomenal for them.
Okay, excellent. Well, anyways, this also helps to improve eyesight, which is common in the aging. And it has 2 main carotenoids in broccoli, the lutein, and then of course we have the zeaxanthins that are also associated with age-related eye disorders. I think there was another one that was actually for AMD as well.
Yeah, and macular degeneration.
Not this one, but there was another one. There were actually 2 of them that talked about macular degeneration. So that's really, really important. And this will also help to boost, this vegetable actually helps to boost your eyesight, especially because a lot of people are low in vitamin A. And then I don't know if you're familiar with some of the other enzyme, but we have a special enzyme in us that actually can take broccoli. And then with broccoli, you need to actually, in order to take advantage of broccoli, you need to actually cut it up. It needs to be, and not cook it so much, right? Like it's actually better if you eat it just slightly blanched or raw. And then kale is very high in nutrients and very low in calories, making it one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. And many powerful antioxidants are found in kale, including this quercetin and also camphorol, which may have numerous beneficial effects on health. It's extremely high in vitamin C, which obviously is an antioxidant, has many important roles in the body. And a single cup of raw kale actually contains more vitamin C than an orange. So it also contains substances that binds the bile acids that will help to lower cholesterol level in the body. It also has vitamin K, which is an important nutrient that is involved with blood clotting. It's very high in beta carotene, which helps convert turn this antioxidant into vitamin A. And many important minerals that are found in kale include calcium, potassium, and magnesium. And kale is also high in lutein and also, again, the zeaxanthins, nutrients that have been linked to drastically reducing macular degeneration and cataracts. So those two together with the lutein and the zeaxanthin will help with macular degeneration and cataracts. And it's also excellent addition to any kind of weight loss plan you have. And then we have spinach. I love spinach. So spinach is low in calories and high in insoluble fiber, which also helps your digestion. And it's extremely nutrient-rich vegetable. It's packed with large amounts of carotenoids, vitamin C, vitamin K, folic acid, iron, and calcium. And it also improves your health. It also has many, can help to reduce oxidative stress. Again, it promotes eye health, helps to fight cancer, regulate your blood pressure. And spinach and kale are high in antioxidants and cancer-fighting compounds. Both have been shown to reduce several, like for example, heart disease, risk factors, and also can aid in weight loss. And again, it has the lutein, and then the camphorol, the nitrates. It's got the quercetin, and then of course the zeaxanthins as well. That's in there. I mean, you see, these are things that are like repeated over in many of the greens. And then we have green cabbage. Cabbage is an exceptional healthy food. It's low in calories. It's rich in vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, and also helps to reduce inflammation. It contains an insoluble fiber, which helps to keep your digestive system healthy by providing fuel for friendly bacteria and promoting regular bowel movements. It also contains powerful pigments called anthocyanins, which have been shown to reduce the risk of heart disease. It also has potassium that helps keep your blood pressure within a healthy range. Increasing your intake of potassium-rich foods like cabbage will also help lower the blood pressure. It's also a good source of soluble fiber and plant sterols, and it's a substance that has been shown to reduce LDL cholesterol, which is, if you think of LDL, so you can remember cholesterol, the HDL is what we learned in physiology as the healthy cholesterol. So we think of that healthy or heavenly cholesterol is HDL. LDL is the lethal cholesterol. So when you think of LDL, think of lethal. So it is an outstanding has an outstanding nutritional profile and is especially high in, again, vitamin C and vitamin K. And then we have parsley. Parsley is a low calorie, nutrient dense herb. It's particularly rich in vitamins K, A, and C. It contains many powerful antioxidants, which may help prevent cell damage and help to lower risk of certain diseases. It's rich in vitamin K, which is an essential nutrient for optimal bone health. And eating foods high in this nutrient has been linked to reduce risk of fractures and improve bone mineral density. It contains a variety of antioxidants like flavonoids and vitamin C. And then it also, again, contains lutein. It has this zeaxanthin as well, beta carotene, plant compounds that protect the eye health, can reduce the risk of age-related conditions like macular degeneration. It's also rich in folate along with B vitamins. Folate is a B vitamin that also can help to protect your heart as well as reduction of heart disease. Sometimes kidney is also tied to your blood pressure, and also can reduce the risk of kidney stones. Aloe vera. Aloe vera has anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antibacterial properties, loaded with vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and also can boost the digestion and remove toxins from the body. And as we know, we know a lot about aloe vera. I mean, we know that it accelerates wound healing. It also reduces dental plaques. It helps to treat canker sores, reduce constipation, can also improve skin and prevent wrinkles, and lowers your blood sugar levels. I love all this stuff because it's all lowering your blood sugar levels, and that's really important. And cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is high in a number of nutrients, including vitamin C and provitamin A, carotenoids and flavonoids. Also has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. And some studies have linked regular hot pepper consumption to lower risk of all-cause and heart disease-related mortality.
Well, and cayenne is loaded with capsaicin, which is that active ingredient that gives it the heat, which is also the ingredient that gives the metabolic benefits as well as the cardioprotective benefits. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons she added. So when you look at greens, you're like, hold on, why did you add cayenne pepper to greens? And it's because of the capsaicin and the improvements in metabolism. And so when you're looking at these, because it's funny how the algorithms on social media work. When I first started talking about Relive and started to do some searches, of course, I started to get advertisements for lots of greens. And, there are companies that are promoting having keto greens and such. I will say this is the greatest keto greens on the market because it is loaded with some of the key components for those that are, working on a keto diet. Also, if you're in the fitness space, I will say this is going to be the most fun you've ever had with a greens product because every one of your clients is just going to absolutely love this stuff.
So we can definitely say that this is keto friendly.
Oh, absolutely. It's keto. You could say it's keto specific, honestly. I mean, because keto people are a little bit crazy, kind of like the vegans, and it's friendly to both, which is kind of funny.
Absolutely.
But I mean, this is about as keto green as you can get. And you're going to hit on one of those ingredients here in a second to go along with the cayenne.
Well, and also cayenne pepper is also a prebiotic for bifidobacteria and lactobacilli. And so the ingestion with probiotics can also lead to more profound microbial shifts. It's really good for you, the cayenne pepper.
The heat actually increases metabolism.
Yeah, increases.
It'd be good for weight loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we have people shedding. I mean, people are shedding pounds like crazy, starting on the greens. It's really, really unique.
Brilliant.
So next we have blueberries. They are rich in antioxidants that prevent damage to your body at a cellular level, as well as vitamin C and vitamin K. They are a well-known prebiotic that supports healthy digestion, fights inflammation and gut dysbiosis. It has the highest antioxidant capacity of all other popular fruits and vegetables. Flavonoids appear to be the berry's antioxidant with the greatest impact. So that's the blueberry. Several studies suggest that blueberries can also reduce DNA damage, which is the leading driver of aging and cancer. The antioxidant blueberries have been shown to reduce a predominant risk factor for heart disease by preventing oxidative damage to the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL cholesterol. Also helps to lower blood pressure. It's rich in anthocyanidins, which also can reduce the risk of heart attacks. And also it's an antioxidant benefit, has an antioxidant benefit to your brain as well. Aiding brain function and delayed mental decline. And there's several studies demonstrate that blueberries have an anti-diabetic effect, improving your insulin sensitivity, lowering your blood sugar levels. And like cranberries, blueberries contains a substance that can prevent certain bacteria from binding to the wall of your bladder, which also can help prevent UTIs, urinary tract infections. And also, one study suggests that blueberries can also aid in muscle recovery after strenuous exercise. I love blueberries. And pomegranate seed. So pomegranate is actually a prebiotic. This can help to stimulate bifidobacteria and lactobacilli. And it is one of the most important, it's actually two of the most important strains in the probiotic bacteria in your colon. And it also can help inhibit some of the bad bacteria. And these seeds are a source, like, again, there are prebiotics that help to feed the probiotics in the gut bacteria. And as you can see, these little fruits, the seeds, they're edible seeds. They are rich in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and bioactive plant compounds. Also, they do contain some sugar. They also contain a special acids that are responsible for most of the health benefits. They are antibacterial, antiviral. So MTC oil can support weight loss by increasing fullness, fat loss, ketone productions, and may also improve your gut environment. And more research, of course, is needed to determine its efficacy in terms of what they're saying there. But it's easily absorbed and transported throughout the body, and it can be used as an instant source of energy and can be, again, converted into ketones. It also improves brain function and can also have benefits for people with epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease, and even autism. And because it contains fatty acids, it's been shown to help to reduce growth in yeast and bacteria. Also can help to reduce heart disease, as well as risk factors such as, for cholesterol, inflammation, weight as well, and also can help manage diabetes. I mean, all of these things together is a pretty potent product. And the last thing I want to touch on is that probiotics is a promising generation of heavy metal detoxification, because if you have good gut health, that also helps with heavy metal detoxification. So the last slide is going to be some of the references that we looked at.
Lots of references. And the cool part is when you dive into the greens, just like we did, what you'll find is you've got some of the prebiotics and probiotics, but then a lot of the other ingredients themselves are prebiotic or probiotic. And then you have the catalysts, right? You've got the MCT oil or the MCT powder, sorry, not the oil, because it's the powder that's in there, as well as the cayenne and such. So you've got catalysts to make everything else synthesize and work better, and it tastes really, really good.
Clayton, do you think it would be interesting to do the clean slate and support the body in the detoxing process with the greens? That'd be quite.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite interesting just to do those two together and see.
Well, I think we were going over this morning of really looking at what your routine can look like in the morning, with some of the stuff that's forthcoming. But you take your clean slate, you do use your greens. I've tried adding Restore in with my greens. Tastes terrible.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But because Restore tastes great on its own. So you have your Restore in the morning, you take your greens with however you want to take those, with what you want to add to it, or you can take it alone. And then you've got your zero in whenever you want it. And this will be the one thing to play with, because I would bet, I'm going to try this tonight because I need to start burning some fat. You're probably going to get greater benefits of using the greens at night.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Greens at night, because of the fiber. That's really important.
The fiber, the metabolic improvements, the detox benefits. So if you take your clean slate and your greens at night, but you might want to take it with just water instead of taking it with something of greater content in the morning. I think it'll be interesting. But Teresa Mock is one of the best examples, because she's been using, I think, a few teaspoons a day, and she'd lost 10 pounds using clean slate, Restore, and zero in, And I mean, it changed her life, but when she added the greens, she dropped another, well, it's over 20 now. I know she's dropped at least 20 pounds. And what she talked about, we were going over this yesterday, is, I mean, not only did she lose the weight, her body is actually reconfiguring. I mean, she's getting curves back where she had curves as a teenager, you know, but now in her 50s, those curves are coming back. So it's reconfiguring your shape. 35 pounds now is what she just said.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
just pretty significant.
That's over like what, 2 months, 2-3 months?
Yeah, that's 2 months, I think. You know, so, and actually the interesting part is when you look at that, it's healthy weight loss, you know, because you shouldn't lose more than a pound a day. And you just go through the process of what happens. And I think this is what's important, because I'm getting some private messages from people. The path to getting great or becoming great is not fast, right? Granted, Nicola and other people are doing fasting right now, but it is not expeditious. You're not going to get somewhere really quickly because of the process that your body needs to go through to clean itself out, to start to remineralize, to crystallize, to add in the key nutrients. And the regeneration process it takes is not something that is quick, right?
And
it's
quite rightly so, because the rebuild is, you know, it's really important that it stays, not yo-yo thing, but it actually stays for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and we've seen that, and I haven't watched the end of the our end of year video because Dory hasn't sent it to me yet, and I didn't get to see the photos. But if you look at our community, guys and women, those that have been with us for a while, I mean, I'm one of those examples too. I mean, I look at my skin now versus where it was a year and a half ago. It's different, but you will find that you get younger. And I think that's the big thing for 2022 is like all the stress we've had the last 2 years, you can shed all of that and you can be younger this year than you've been in the last 10 or 20. So
I wanted to do this presentation because I think going into the new year, it's really important to have an understanding without saying it. So you guys have to read it between the lines without saying anything. I mean, the most important thing that you could do for yourself right now is to improve your gut health. This is where everything starts.
When you look at gut health, and this for the people, like if you look at it from a marketing conversation, which gut health is such a huge thing, we have the most collaborative, inclusive, and complex, protocol for gut health in every capacity. What does Clean Slate do? Helps clean up the gut. What does Restore do? Kills off all the bad stuff in the gut, helps the regeneration of the gut. What does Zero In do? It improves neurotransmission production in the gut. What does Restore do? Or what is then the Relive do? It's going to provide all the nutrients along with this stuff, the probiotics, the prebiotics, all the stuff for your gut. Hello.
Mutually supportive, and it's that synergistic blend, which is what makes it unique.
So
Martina has a question.
Yes, I just want to agree in everything you said, and because going through COVID and reading a lot and listening to a lot of German health doctors, as I said before, and I talked to Birgit, she done the brace to a lot of people. I just want to say thank you now for everyone here that doing these calls, because from the last 2 years being on Dory's call, listen to what you said, Dory, what you said, Clayton, and what I learned before. This is so important, and to realize what we have in the products, and especially what you say tonight. And I think for the new people that do start with the root products now, we should the ones that already in for 2 years, we should just tell them how to start, not to focus on losing weight, focus on getting their health back. And like you said, it takes time, because I worked with people for 5 years. They done diets and all that. If I I had some knowledge then, but if I had the knowledge now, if I had the knowledge that I have now when my mom had cancer, and seeing the puzzle, you know, I can, everything you're saying, I can agree with. And then I'm just very grateful, because grateful for Birgit showed me the products and the things you are producing and you're bringing in. I just want to say thank you, Clayton, because the call last night was great, and is your personality too that puts so much light in everything. And with Dory and Claire and your wife, this is, I think we all can be so grateful for what we receive in here, and then bring it to the people, you know, and just explain to them that like you said, it is a process, you know, and one body is different than the other, you know, and it's just, I'm just very thankful. I'm just very thankful. I was taking the products for the last 2 years, and to have the greens now and everything, and just love your call tonight, Dory. Thank you.
Thank you,
Well,
Martina.
their support is available tomorrow as well. And if you look at the science that's been out for the last couple of years, and what some of the protocols are for putting your body in the best position to be protective over the current environment, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc are three of the biggest components. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Every single person you know should have natural barrier support, at least one bottle, right? And here's the crazy thing. At $75 for a bottle, it's less expensive than every alternative on the market.
And you only need...
You only need a third of a teaspoon of this stuff.
I'm taking them both together.
Yeah, that's
You're
what
what?
I would do. Take them.
I'm taking both together.
I can't, the thing is with the greens, well, when I added natural barrier support to my greens, natural barrier support, I'm going to give you the ingredients here, because it's really complex. Vitamin C, which is dehydrated liposomal vitamin C.
Ooh, liposomal vitamin C. That's really good.
Really, really hard to get. Vitamin D. Christina, and I think if you're here, you've been with us, Christina is uncompromising when it comes to quality, because the science has to be sound in formulations, and quality of ingredients are crucial when it comes to creating the formulas that she wants to do, because of how she wants them to respond. So the vitamin D, and then the zinc. And a couple things you can do. You can look at some of the popular supplements on the market. One, question the quality, but look at the quantity and the number of servings in a bottle. Like, there's a lot of marketing being done by Dr. Zev Zelenko, you know, for his formula, which is vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and he adds some quercetin to it. The quercetin you'll get in your diet, which you can get in apples, which is in Relive, because some people are sensitive to higher levels of quercetin. You don't need it. But if you do a comparison of the quantity of ingredients that you get in natural barrier support, it's greater than what you get in that formula. And it's only the 3 ingredients. It's powdered form. It's as pure as you're going to get. There is nothing else in it. And it's a third of the price of other stuff on the market. We've had our friends here in Nashville, when we had some people test it and Christina started showing people, our friends that are really big into this stuff, they're like, you understand you need to double the price of that, because it's less expensive than everything in the market. You can't get high quality vitamin C for a 3-month supply, basically, for what you get natural barrier support for. You just can't get it. So everybody needs this in their toolkit. It should be in your cupboard, or it should be on your shelf. And especially now that we're in winter time and flu season and everything, and cold season, it's something you should be taking a little bit every day. I mean, and that's all it takes. It's a third of a teaspoon. I mean, that should be really easy to talk about. It's like, look, you want the best version. And what makes that important is this wasn't something Christina created for Root. It was something that Christina created in collaboration with Dr. Dory Narbo and 22 countries to create some protocols for COVID treatment.
Mm.
That's what that's for. So
Very important.
It's very, and you can look at all the marketing and everything going around with those 3 ingredients. This is the purest, it's the purest form of the highest quality ingredients priced at a point that's less than everything else in the market. I think those are 3 pretty good things. So we're gonna have some fun with that. But I will tell you, get the greens. Your kids will like them, and have to pass out one on the floor.
Next week. Same
Bye,
time,
y'all.
place.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. All the best. Bye.
Thanks
a lot. Great call again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.